talking about music today. Is music helpful while studying, or is music actually harming your studying? That's what I'm going to go through today. Me being like a top student, I don't know, getting good grades. I'll share my opinion on it, what I do when studying. There's been lots of psychological studies whether music is good for you or bad for you while studying. Now obviously there will be positives and negatives to studying with music. You might have heard about like how it's good to study with like Mozart on, or like Blur effect, or maybe listening to piano. I remember I used to listen to like Einaudi, Ludovici Einaudi, I can't remember, I don't know how to say his name. Or like listening to alpha waves. But yeah, let's get into it. Straight away, positives of listening to music while studying is that like music can help boost your mood. Like for me, it definitely helps like boost my mood when I know I've got like lots of work to do. Just put on like my favourite types of music, and then it just makes like the atmosphere a bit more like uplifting. You can chill to music whilst you do some stressful work, and then by boosting your mood, that can also increase productivity. Music can also help you concentrate whilst doing some work. So like if you're answering questions, practice questions, looking over information, it can help boost concentration for some people. And especially for me, my music also helps to motivate myself to actually do the work. Literally, you might look during my time-lapse videos or just in any video, you'll just see me listening to music, or maybe like dancing, like shaking my head, maybe singing along with the lyrics during those sorts of videos. That's because it sort of helps me focus, helps me concentrate, and also sort of relaxes me from the stress, just the pressure of the work. And music can also help when you've got like a pretty bad atmosphere around yourself, and by that I mean like if it's quite noisy, if you've had a bad day. Like for me especially, the TV living room, like pretty close by, literally outside my window, road, cars, buses, trucks, not the best. Just literally close the door sometimes. Like there's like a door here and then another door there, just like a sort of small corridor bit. Close that sort of middle door, can you close the middle door please? That's what I say. And then leave that open just so like I get some sort of air. That sort of blocks everything out, and then I turn on the music, blast it around this room, and it sort of creates like a little atmosphere. That's how I feel like it does anyways. Or you could listen to music if you become easily distracted, like by your phone. Instead of like keeping notifications on, turn those off and put on some music instead. Keeps you in the flow of things. Music can also beat stress, relieve stress, and then music can also help you when you're going for a long study period, going to work for a long amount of time. For example, like I don't put time limits on my study sessions. I just normally start and finish when I want to finish. Like if I don't have any more work, then that's when I'll stop. If I've got work and I can be bothered, I'll keep on going. But during that, music can help you get through the times where you're a bit struggling during that session. So in general, music seems like a pretty good idea if it boosts your mood, increases concentration levels, motivates you, and relieves stress while studying. That seems all pretty good, but is it actually good? But there are a few negatives about listening to music. Although music can help you block out all the distractions, music itself can distract you. And that, from me, from personal experience, it does distract you, especially with music which is loud, music which is fast-paced, and with lots of lyrics in them, can be quite distracting. Whenever I've got like a song with lyrics in them, like I'll just find myself singing along and then I'll stop. Or with stuff like piano, if I'm listening to that, I used to listen to it, but I've stopped because when I listen to it, I just always looked out the window, looked at nature and stuff, looked at the clouds, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Piano was like relaxing, but then like I'd just be off task. I think I used to do it in like year 9, and then I just stopped because it was just didn't really help me study. But then again, that is sort of like a personal thing. That's how you focus. Like if you can listen to music with lyrics and still do the work, which I can, then listen to the lyrics, listen to music. And again, if you can't listen to piano music, don't listen to it. It all depends on how your brain sort of focuses, depending on the type of music you're listening to, if that makes sense. And there are a lot of studies to suggest that music can actually lower productivity and its effectiveness. and there's something called the working memory, which actually decreases when you listen to music. When you listen to music, that decreases, that falls. That means when you study, you can't study as effectively as you would without music. So for example, when you listen to loud music, that working memory will decrease. Also, when you're reading notes or anything off a device or just a textbook alongside listening to music, the working memory becomes less effective. The working memory itself is all about looking at lots of different types of info that you're being exposed to. So when you listen to music, you can't look at as much info and understand it as much, and when you read, the same principle applies. And then obviously listen to music with headphones on or earphones on, whatever they're called. They can obviously damage your ears, which is kind of a negative, especially if you like use them a lot once in a day. Like I tend to, when I go to the gym, listen to music then, or when I'm like on the Xbox, join Discord on my phone, using my AirPods. So whenever you can, try not use headphones, just try and blast it. Obviously, if you're in a public place, don't blast music. That's kind of common sense. But whenever you can, maybe when you're in the house, not blast, obviously just don't put it on like full volume, max volume. Whenever you can, don't plug in any headphones. Keep your ears safe. Personally, when I'm studying, I listen to music. I personally listen to music, and that's because it sort of brings me motivation when I'm trying to study, and that helps me carry out my work and slowly reduce the amount of piles of homework I get and just smaller tasks which I need to do. Music also keeps me sort of calm, relieves any stress which I've got. Although I don't have much stress, sort of remain calm normally. Like I set out targets and whatnot. It sort of just creates a nice not my music ain't that peaceful. It sort of just keeps a nice motivational atmosphere, as I've said, like in the sort of room which I'm in. You might be like, what do you mean by atmosphere? I'm being honest, like literally, when I'm listening to music, I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it just feels like there's just some sort of ball around me, some sort of sphere, and that's like just nothing else matters when I'm in the sphere. It's just like all music. I've got work to do the work. That's all it is, and that can be applied to literally anything, not just school. And that sort of mood atmosphere sort of helps me focus, keeps everything in mind, keeps me on task. Personally for me, I used to listen to piano, as I've said, but that just didn't work for me. It did sort of, I think, make me more focused, but like I would just drift off sometimes I think I was looking at like waves and like refraction. Do you know where you've got like the glass like cuboid which you have to shine light through? I was like trying to look at that, but then I just drifted away. Also tried to listen to like alpha waves at one point, but then I was like, nah, this ain't for me. Personally, I listen to more motivational music, as I've said in the past video. Zayd Wolf, The Score, might sound like small sort of music artists. It might sound a bit cringy that I listen to those sort of people, but they sort of bring me motivation. Like also try and listen to the sounds. I found that sort of helps when you're trying to revise, that it's better to listen to sort of sounds rather than actual lyrics. Even though I listen to the lyrics for motivation, the actual like instrumental bits, that's why sometimes like when I'm like studying, like during like the afternoonish, tending towards the evening, listen to this sort of motivational music from The Score, Zayd Wolf. But then like after I like brush my teeth, after I've done like all that, I sit down for like 10 to 20 minutes sometimes and put on just electronic music that sort of just actually keeps me calm, it calms me down, and that's where I can listen to just sounds and stuff. Now back to what I was doing, you know. Wait, I need to make an outro. So actually it just depends on one major thing, and that's you. It depends on how you learn, and that's up to you to find out. Literally, I think I've been listening to my sort of music, not mine obviously, to the music I listen to for around 2 years. That's like the start of year 10 to year 11, and now I'm also doing it in year 12. And for me it helps, but obviously you don't have to listen to the same type of music, kind of obvious. Listen to whatever helps you. Piano help, listen to that. If listening to Blur helps, listen to that. And obviously depending on how much stress you have, what workload you have, plan it based on that. So personally, for me, if I've got a lot of workload, a lot of work to do, and it's afternoon time-ish, don't know why I'm pointing up there trying to signal the time of day using the sun, I would listen to like motivational music. But when it's sort of like quiet, not much work to do, just finishing off sort of bits, listen to more electronic music. But that's going to be all from me today. Hopefully you have a good week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.